Hamza from Polygon Network. So Hamza, how are you this morning? I think you're muted.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great. Perfect. Thank you for joining. So for those that aren't too aware, I'll give a little bit more background on Polygon Network and Hamza. So Polygon is a layer 2 solution to Ethereum. All of the kind of caveats with Ethereum in terms of gas fees and latency in the network, Polygon was really introduced as an infrastructure and protocol to help solve this. But that's more of the tech side. And for those that aren't really aware, I mean, Polygon has a really bustling developer, engineering, just protocol community as well. And Hamza has really been the driving force and one of the core voices behind that and bringing everyone together across the space. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here, Hamza. And just for this session, how we'll conduct it is, casual conversation, but everyone listening in, if you do have questions that you'd like to ask, please join our Discord channel and drop them in the AMA chat, and we'll definitely get around to those. So to start off and to dive right in, Hamza, can you kind of give us a bit more of a breakdown of what is proof of stake, which is the consensus model that Polygon runs, and why is this important, why it's different? We spoke to Sandeep yesterday and he kind of gave some details on it too, but yeah, it's really interesting for creators and designers listening in about, well, what is this layer 2 network? Why is it important? And why is it, suddenly completely taken off in the past 6 to 8 months?
With all of those questions you just mentioned, but yeah, I think Ethereum scaling solution. Currently, there is the POS network, there is the Plasma network, and now we recently have the Hermes solution for the rollups, which we believe is the next as a comes, but I think we have to attract builders, like as a Polygon, or even if you look at Ethereum, right, or even let's say Bitcoin, like hardcore computer scientists and believers of revolution flock to Bitcoin because it was decentralized from that day till today, and hence that network effects have always been there. Similarly with Ethereum, the developers and all of those things stuck there because those values did not dilute. Similarly, long term, if you look at Polygon 5 years down the line, although we have just been like two and a half years now, but 5 years down the line, if you look, I think these values should not be diluted. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, because that's what brings builders in, and builders bring dApps, and dApps bring users, and not we don't bring users per se.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have users, there's no point. So we don't bring builders, there's no point.
And is that something that when you think about, like you said, okay, so 5 years down the line with Polygon, that it will operate more like Ethereum when it comes to, say, like improvement proposals of the network. Like right now, it's quite a concentrated team, and you guys are really pushing forth the network. Is it's something that you see will occur and kind of naturally progress over time? I mean, even with DIGITALAX, we are a concentrated team at the moment, but we have Mona, our ERC20 token, and that also has governance that we're progressively introducing to our community. So is it something that you guys are planning to introduce as well, and have it where token holders, it's not just kind of the Matic as the gas fee, but it really will be an active stake more so within the network, and being able to even vote on where how the protocol is built, what even projects are kind of supported within certain ecosystem grant DAOs and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we've discussed it with Sandeep, JD, like we all have discussed like this at length. So there are two things. So we are not a DApp, so the governance per se becomes different in definition for a blockchain than a DApp like Compound, Aave, Maker, you guys. So it's very different. Now, having said that, even if you look at Ethereum, there are EIP proposals. Of course, you can put out an EIP proposal, you can fork, you can do all sort of things. But there is a Ethereum Foundation, there is a team, of course there are community calls. We recently had a community call for 1559, I think just last week. A lot of suggestions were there. Even before that, we had a couple. But I think there is a difference that we can't decentralize in a way that from day one, that we're still very early, and we cannot like ask people to because building a blockchain is really difficult, and people don't understand what are the nitty-gritties. There are very few people who actually understand consensus. There are reorgs, these sort of things. There are very few people, and we can't count on all of the Matic holders to take the right decisions.
Sorry, Hamza. Sorry, my internet just.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Sorry, completely shut off.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like so there are very few people who understand these nitty-gritties. So we cannot like at this stage we cannot rely on all of the Matic holders to be as educated to take the right decision and to vote on, let's say, certain things like, let's say, 1559, or change of consensus from Tendermint to something else. Though we cannot expect that, we are not at that stage, and that's something that even other blockchains do. Like if you look at Ethereum, you don't vote by ETH, right, per se. You don't vote with ETH. ETH is a proof of stake token. Of course, it has getting this narrative of store of value and those sort of things, but you don't vote per se. So as a user, as a DApp, even as a DApp developer, you of course write it on the forum. You can fork if you don't want. If you don't want, you can fork the chain and run a different consensus. That's possible. Having said that, yes, we are actively looking at. The DAO is one reason that we did. We'll be having multiple community calls to discuss certain things. We have started that. Forums are of course there. I think 1559 was widely discussed and argued upon on the forum. So those things of course will happen, but it's just that we don't want to decentralize from day one. Progressive decentralization, of course, because I think it definitely slows down a lot of things in the initial phase.
No, I completely agree, and it's also, like you said, some of the challenges or some of the just the topics and features that you're looking at, you have to have certain knowledge around it in order to really make an informed decision. And that knowledge isn't always common knowledge, or it takes really building in certain areas and having some experience in certain topics to be able to provide more informed insights. So leaving that to a community sometimes can be really challenging. And it's how do you balance keeping the activity and keeping them involved, but at the same time making sure that there is enough productive capacity to actually have something to hand off, which is really what we're focused on as well at DIGITALAX. So with that said, so you are, like you said, really heading up DeFi at Polygon. And you mentioned that there is some intersection of NFTs and DeFi projects, which we are seeing a lot more of because, it is that thing. I mean, the beauty of Web3 is also about the composability and how you can kind of, grab modules from everywhere and combine them into completely new use cases. And I think that's another really important feature of Polygon is that on Ethereum, there's a lot of limitations around, well, what can you actually execute in a smart contract code? Because you are limited by gas fees, by the network latency. But with Polygon, we are able to kind of just increase that range of optionality so much more. So what are some of the interesting projects and use cases that you are seeing, and maybe that are even launching native to Polygon itself without kind of having that bridge from Ethereum?
Yeah, so like Comet is one good example. Comet is like the intersection of all three, right? So DeFi, NFT, and gaming, where you have these NFTs, spaceships, which you rent out and you get Musk tokens. You like conquer galaxies and you asteroids, sorry, and you get Musk tokens. So that is a very very cool thing. I think no play to earn mechanism. That's pretty cool. I would say. Then I think Aavegotchi is very cool. Like Aavegotchi is like the OG project of Polygon. But these are games which are definitely DeFi intersection. But on a broader thing, I think loans. Once you start building loans and credit histories, I think NFTs. Like I've been watching some projects, speaking with few. I feel NFTs with as loans. When you can sell those loans like credit swaps. These sort of complex financial products like senior tranches. So Banbridge is doing that. Couple other these tranching projects, risk management projects are doing that. Saffron, Banbridge. So the senior tranche is something like a risk-free fixed interest token, which is an NFT. But yeah, I think and that can be used to as a collateral somewhere on Compound or Aave down the line when they're supporting NFTs. There are discussions on the forums because it can be programmed. Like so, there is a concept of programmable NFTs nowadays where you can change the interest rates. You can sell those NFTs and sell basically the loan that you have your position on Aave or Compound to someone else. So that is something that I think is what financial industry is based on. Like if you look at the 2008 movie Big Short, so you clearly understand that. Okay, like if someone wants to understand that, so those are CDOs and credit default swaps and those sort of things, and those are loans, right? Tranches built on tranches, and you sell those tranches to different banks. I think that is something I personally feel NFTs can play a lot of very important role in the next phase of DeFi.
And it's interesting. I mean, when you mentioned The Big Short, for those listening, if you haven't seen the movie, I really highly recommend it. It's all about the global financial crisis and kind of like behind the scenes of Wall Street when that was happening. But it's interesting when you say that, like even these more complex financial products, derivative products, and attaching them to NFTs. I mean, just when we think about a layer of transparency that then opens up. I mean,
Yes,
that's really what DeFi is all about. But just adding it to more use cases within finance, within commerce as well. Like even, taking out, a loan, even say on a house or so, and we're actually tokenizing more real world assets, bringing them onto the blockchain. It's kind of like, it's completely limitless and endless where this goes. And it's at that core, it's just all about the proof of ownership, that proof of authenticity. How do you actually attach that back to, say, an individual or an identity or a person? And I guess, that kind of leads me into my next point as well. Hansen, that I'd love to discuss with you is around the gaming side. You mentioned play to earn. I mean, obviously that has really taken much bigger interest and form in the past few weeks. We've seen Axie Infinity take off, reach over $1 billion in sales and volume. Is Polygon kind of being reached out to by more game developers, even AAA gaming companies, projects? Because it's so interesting. I mean, just seeing how far the space has come in 8 months. I remember last year, even with DIGITALAX, trying to explain to people, Web3 Fashion, or trying to explain to them what is crypto gaming, it was kind of like, this is just a phase. It's another blockchain, shilling thing. But now it's really has that, it's been proven out that, well, this is not just a flash in the pan. There's real, economic value behind this. I mean, the players in Axie Infinity, a lot of them are earning more value now than they were before the pandemic. They lost their jobs in the pandemic and they went and started playing Axie, and they've, absolutely transformed their lives. This is real value being created. So yeah, I mean, what's kind of happening with Polygon Network at the moment? Is anything that you can share on projects specifically on the gaming and play to earn side?
Yeah, for sure. Like, so Polygon Gaming Studios is something that that our team has been working as a separate arm, and most, like, a lot of games like YGG is speaking to, like, a lot of I'm not too, I can't, like, give out name, but some big. So we're hiring some very big Web2 gaming side of people as advisors on the Polygon Gaming Studios. Shreyans is taking head of that. So the Polygon Gaming Studios is essentially, the objective is to bring Web2 gaming to Web3 gaming. And if you look at Web2, there's no Web2 or Web3, right? Gaming is just gaming. Like, it's just gaming. Like, who cares if it's Web2 or Web3? And with Polygon, and especially with Polygon SDK, where you can build your separate chain, that is, I think, the only solution to gas problems and RPC issues and those sort of things. That's the only issue. That's the only solution which I think we can solve with Polygon SDK. So yeah, we are aggressively hiring certain folks on the Web2 gaming side who can help steer this. But yeah, I think gaming. We're speaking to some big studios as well. Some big studios on the Web2 side of things. So I think that, yeah, gaming definitely will be the hook to get. I think a lot of even DeFi people have spoken vocally about, like, Kain has spoken vocally about the fact that DeFi will continue to be, like, the bedrock of things, the underlying things, but gaming will now slowly come to the front light, very front side, because that's what brings people in. So and it actually monetizes the assets inside. So, like, Fortnite did 50% of its revenue just through gaming assets last year. That's pretty big.
It's that thing, right? It's that I mean, I know that even people have said, oh, well, DeFi, the craze is over, it's gone, but it's really not at all. It's a complete anchor to Web3, and it's just that there's going to be more options for interfaces now. Gaming is another interface, fashion is another interface, and so on and so forth. But it's an interesting point, when we think about, okay, a lot more people coming into the network. How do you feel about that? Say if 1 to 2 million people were to onboard through gaming in a very short amount of time, or even 1 billion people coming in. I mean, is Polygon looking at, well, how can the network actually support really increased growth? And someone's actually asking in our Discord as well, even the idea of, well, OpenSea Polygon sometimes experiences some issues and the network comes down. There's a lot of traffic moving on to Polygon OpenSea, so that contributes to it. Do you think that things are kind of moving too fast when we think of activity and hype compared to where the tech is at the moment? Like, how do you guys see that? And is there certain, I guess just things that you're putting in place to consider, well, what would it look like if 500 million people were suddenly using Polygon in the next year or so?
Yeah, 500 million is, oh god, that's a big number. That's a big number. No, I mean, jokes aside, I think we have definitely seen latency and, like, gas spikes and those sort of things for sure. Like, any game launches on the chain, like, the network has issues for sure. It's a good problem to have. Not gonna lie, but from a business standpoint, but yes, from a technical, so those certain things will be sorted in the latest version of the chain. So we are doing some improvements on the back end of the chain. So V3, so this was the V2 that everything is running on, but V3 will be solving some of the network issues, like latency, reorgs of the chain. So we'll be doing a different consensus model. And also some changes in the gas calculations. So, like, but on a high level, I think the UX will become much better. down the in the next couple of months. But yeah, like blockchains are like I said, blockchain. It's difficult to scale with blockchains. So definitely down the line, we will see games, especially games, build their own chain with the SDK. So I think if you are looking for a long term thing, so we do have 2-3 teams who are already building on the SDK. So SportX Network, which is a sports betting platform, which is already building on, is already live, I guess, using the SDK. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely we are actively working for that. So.
And to touch on more on scaling, so Polygon, you guys recently merged with Hermes Network, and that was a lot around ZK rollups. Can you explain to us more, and everyone listening in, what are ZK rollups? What was kind of the plan around that merger? And then, how is that just enabling more opportunity for people to use the network in a more seamless and integrated way?
Yeah, I think so. We believe that rollups are the future. I mean, it's not gonna lie. Let's not gonna lie. Like if you look at DIGITALAX blogs or just the Ethereum roadmap of scaling, we definitely feel that rollups are the way, and we don't want to with our vision and hustle and all the things that we have been doing. We don't want to stay behind like as a dinosaur network that in the next couple of years, in the next year, we when all these solutions are out there, we have we don't are at a competitive, we are at a less competitive advantage. The idea with Hermes and some other solutions that will be coming soon on the ZK side is to build this powerhouse of ZK, because even in the optimistic rollup side, so there are two types of rollups, right? So there's optimistic, there's ZK. We feel that ZK is the end goal of Ethereum scaling. And the idea with Hermes specifically was, so Hermes technically is the most decentralized rollup solution out there amongst Aztec, amongst ZK Sync, and Hermes. These are the three solutions, and Starkware, of course. But Hermes is the most decentralized rollup solution, and they are also pretty close to making ZK EVM. So currently, it's not EVM compatible, but end of year, even earlier, hopefully. We're just having a chat right now. But ZK EVM will allow you to have the same level of security as Ethereum. It will be the same level of security, so which is a big deal. Right now, we have security, a different security, shared security of Ethereum right now with Polygon, but with Hermes and these rollups, we will have 100% Ethereum security, which will make it make users and builders more comfortable with minting their the next crypto punks or whatever, the next big DeFi application, like Maker, to secure 10 billion of ETH and everything. So yeah, I think that will be the next phase to scale DeFi and just in general. So I think ZK was very important. I think Polygon will be a very big. So in 1 year, I can definitely say the Polygon that you see today will be very different in the next 1 year with ZK and those things.
Mm-hmm. No, it's exciting to hear, and it's kind of built on another question from our community and those listening in. They're asking, I mean, you touched on this a little while back in our conversation, but around how a lot of people that are more outside of crypto, that they use the centralized exchanges to, say, gain exposure to a network or to eventually bridge in. It's not like they think, okay, let's go to a DEX and buy Matic or buy Mono, or buy Ethereum, any token directly from there. Is there any plans for an on-ramp directly to Polygon bypassing all established centralized exchanges in the network? Are you guys kind of actively looking at, I guess, growing out these specific exchange on-ramps for Polygon itself? So people don't always have to just bridge. I mean, I know QuickSwap Exchange, they're doing a lot there, and there's also other solutions, but is it something that the Grants DAO as well is placing a lot of emphasis on?
So I didn't understand. So you mean not go via centralized exchange, but then what is the other solution? So you have to buy crypto somewhere, right? Or you buy via credit card?
Yeah, or go directly. I mean, even DEXs being able to kind of facilitate that, bringing in new solutions over centralized exchanges. I mean, we haven't seen this as of yet, but it would be interesting to see how they could support it. And yeah.
I mean, yeah, like if there are two ways. Like there's this crypto store and there is this fiat thing. So to go from fiat to crypto, there is either you buy via credit card, which is again fiat, or you go via Binance or some other exchange, which is again debit or credit card. You can buy crypto directly on QuickSwap via Transact. So if you go to their even if you go to MetaMask, you can find it. If you go to QuickSwap and there's this tab on top, buy, and you can buy via your credit card. The fees, I think, a couple of dollars, I think, to buy crypto. So dexes do allow you to do that. Yeah, I think other than that, I'm not aware of any other possible solution currently. Yeah, I think the on ramps are the best ways to do it. So we have like 5, 6, probably 10 now, I think, on ramps supported across the world. US, of course, India, US, China. So all of the big major countries. So US was not supported by a lot of providers, but I think now with Ramp and Moon, I think Wire, we have supported. Yeah, we have supported US. You can buy crypto via credit card.
Mm-hmm. And to go back, Hamza, with you to more of the gaming side. So you mentioned Abergotchi. We spoke with Jesse yesterday from Abergotchi, and he was part of one of the speakers with Fashion Week. But how are you seeing? I guess when you're saying, okay, a lot of the Web2 gaming industry is becoming more interested in how to actually create some of these games on blockchains like Polygon, or even fork and create their own chain. How do you see kind of behaviors, or are you seeing even with projects that are maybe in stealth mode building at the moment, without revealing too much, but do you see that there is behavior shifts than what we know of the Ethereum blockchain community today, just because of on Polygon, there is kind of like the threshold with gas fees and that it isn't there. Like even if we think about land, that's, a huge kind of part of the metaverse. Or the open metaverse on Ethereum blockchain at the moment, where a lot of these protocols like Decentraland, Somnium Space, and Sandbox, like even before they release all their features, they're able to generate value in their worlds through the purchase of lands. And the idea of like a location within that is something really important. Have you seen, or is even you've spoken to projects that are thinking of really or new ways to actually bring in the intersection of kind of land barons, or renting out of land without now having the caveat of gas fees, but then like we mentioned before, also intersecting with DeFi, like being able to loan out your land plot, but then even implement that with maybe a yield strategy, or a lending and borrowing strategy, like with the intersection of, say, a protocol like Aave. Is this something that you're seeing more of, or even yourself you have interested in and are thinking about?
Yeah, I do play Comet. That's why I keep mentioning Comet is one game I like to play. So you can buy your spaceships. I think it's a couple of $100, and you can rent it. You can either sell it on OpenSea, Polygon, or you can rent it out, which is essentially staking. So you get Must tokens, and you put that Must on the DEX, add liquidity, so you get another more Must. So essentially, you buy it once, you are renting it, and you earn rewards from two sides. So that can be analogous to land, basically. So that's again another property. So that's, I think, pretty cool. I think similarly Aavegotchi has done that, but yeah, I'm not too familiar with other gaming side of things. I don't know, to be honest, I'm not too aware of the gaming side of things, but I definitely see some projects from the DAO. I've noticed some projects coming up, who are doing certain things with Unity, Web3, and now we have ChainSafe, which is another SDK for building games. Unity and Unity on chain, Unity Web3. So I definitely see this thing coming up more in the near future.
Sorry, I muted. Yeah. Another question from those listening in. So someone's asked, do you believe that Polygon will be able to break into the top 10 market cap, like, in CoinMarketCap or so, over the next 12 months? Yeah, is that something that you guys are kind of aiming for? I mean, obviously every project, wants to scale and grow and increase their activity. But I mean, you've definitely over the past 8 months skyrocketed completely from even looking at, the value of Matic token back in December. What was it, like a few cents or so? And then
I joined at 4 cents.
4 cents, and now it's like $1.70.
I think $1.70, yeah,
Something like
$1.50.
that. So absolutely. I mean, this is the amazing thing with crypto, isn't it? That there's no ceiling in terms of being able to completely grow. So yeah, is that something that, I don't know, you guys are aiming for, or
the price? I mean, if the market remains rational, the participants remain rational. Market cannot remain rational. Participants, if they remain rational and they put value for, if they put value for fundamentals, like we want to be the third most used blockchain, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polygon. That is the end goal, and whatever value comes along with it, it's fine. Like if it's top 5, it's fine. It's top 10, it's fine. I think we are top 15 or something right now. I don't know. Top 20, definitely we are right now. But yeah, like I think, like you mentioned, like when I joined, I personally remember that very day. I remember it was 0.003837, something like that. So it's like 4 cents, 4 cents, and from now, all the growth that we have seen, it's pretty crazy. Like if you look at the DAU and transactions, its transaction I think has gone 1000x or something, which is crazy. But yeah, I think with other solutions coming up, and more technical solutions coming up, which will help other roll-ups, I see, if markets remain fine, I think we see at least to become the third most used blockchain, and numbers are fine, whatever comes with it.
Great. Then, Hamza, that kind of brings us to the close of our AMA in session. But honestly, loved speaking with you and, getting to know even more about what Polygon's focusing on and building. And yeah, I mean, thank you for your contribution to the space in Web3. You guys have brought, a lot of new activity, new ideas, new solutions for projects and protocols wanting to scale out. So yeah, a big thanks to you and the team. And I know myself, our community, in that we're really excited to see where you can continue to go and grow. So yeah, thank you for joining us for Fashion Week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think I was pretty excited to move out of my space in DeFi, but to look at something different. So yeah, thanks for having me. I think you guys were probably one of the first projects I spoke to back when I joined. So yeah, that's pretty cool to finally chat.
Yes, more than. And for everyone listening in, I mean, I kind of mentioned this at the start, but I have to credit you, Hamza, for really supporting the community on Polygon, and from like a project sense and projects moving in, because community is so much intertwined with crypto and with Web3. And, even that's the meme chats and just being able to joke around with other projects. But yeah, you've really supported a lot of that. So that's been super fun to be a part of.
Yeah, we are still very early. Yeah. So long way to go. Thanks for having me, guys.
Perfect. Thank you, Hamza. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.